Welcome back, friends. This is Solomon Jagwe. I'm back with another quick insight. So it's been a while since I did a tutorial, but today I wanted to show you something really amazing. So what you're looking at is we're in the Unreal Engine 5.1, and we have this environment, right? So what you're looking at, guys, is not a 3D scene. What you're looking at, is an environment generated by AI, like artificial intelligence. There's a new platform that is launching soon that I was able to test with, and you're able to create these 360-degree HDRI images that look amazing. So if you have an idea, for a sci-fi, film, like a short film that you may working on, previews or anything like that, you can then go into that platform and generate one of these. So I'll show you some of the ones that I was able to render, and then we'll go to the platform. So this is one of them, as you can see, and I can go next. So this is the current one that you just saw in the environment. This one. So all of this is artificial intelligence generated, right? All right, so now that you've seen the result of what you can do with this, let me show you how you actually get started. So we are relying on an HDRI image right here, background light source, which is one of those options inside of the Unreal Engine 5, and it is running, it's using a 360-degree image, one of the ones that I've generated, and the platform itself is called Blockade Labs. So you go to skybox.blockadelabs.com, and this is what I use to generate that 360 degrees. So they are gonna launch, but they are giving us users a chance to test out this environment and to generate these 360-degree images, using artificial intelligence. And look, so you can just type anything in here. So for that environment that you saw in this scene right here, this one right here, I simply typed in, let's go back over here. I typed in, it's a sci-fi. Just a second here. Let me move my keyboard. Sci-fi. Arnold. Interior. And then here you have the option to select the different types of landscape, like styles. You can say sci-fi, dreamlike, whatever. So let's try sci-fi paneled interior, and we'll click on generate. And then it's because this is online, so it's cloud-based, so it's able to do as you're waiting, it's go ahead and generate, and you can look around. The fact that all of this is not like rendered or even like a photograph, but this was generated by AI is amazing. I know, guys, we talk about AI and the challenges we're facing as artists, and how we are, what they're using it for, where they're getting the source of the inspiration and the data bases, and they're using, but I see, the more I look at it, I'm like, there's no going back. This is not going to be uninvented. So I'm just going to try to figure out how best to learn how to utilize AI, right? So here we go. So it has just generated this interior, paneled interior that looks amazing. This is really cool. So because, if you look at, again, the one that I generated, so you can see it's the same thread over like this style. Like if I look up all the way around, right? So I'm imagining that they're drawing from the same database of like sci-fi images. But if we go back over here, you can see the environment. You can see where it stitched it together down here, and that's pretty cool. If you're doing like a concept piece, or even if you don't want to like model every single thing for your sci-fi shot, like for virtual production, this works really well, guys. Because sometimes you don't even move your camera to see, like, I noticed there's some issues with the stitching over here, but sometimes the camera doesn't even go there. Like your main shot might be just this, and then you place your character here. So as you can see over here, I've placed a character. This is one of the from the Matrix City MetaHuman, and then I was able to put this character here that is a 3D model. This is a character creator file that came in from Does 3D, and I was able to convert it, but you can see how it's picking up on the lighting. That's pretty cool, right? So the way I've done this is that I've also lit this scene. So I've put in some blue lights to mimic some of the environment. The HDR image is also like lending to the lighting, but I did some lighting. This is where the artistic part comes in. Like if you wanted to really reflect this particular way, apart from making it like a emissive, texture, you can still put lights like where you expect those reflections to come from, or the light sources, and then frame it nicely. So this is amazing. And you can see the frames per second over here. If this were the scene with all this geometry, the frames will be way lower than that. Now, given that I'm using a 3090 card, but even then, still, I'm just thinking of how we can use this, as like to put together our scenes for short films and science fiction films. And the more, I think about this, the more I see the value of just this simplicity of being able to come in here. Okay, so now I have a sci-fi paneled interior. Let me put it inside of like a music studio. Sci-fi paneled interior of, before I do that, let me first download this because we may want to use that. And then I'll show you how to take that into Photoshop and convert it. So a sci-fi interior of a music studio. And then we go ahead and generate, and you can even do different styles now. Like you can do digital painting, fantasy landscape, but let's just do one more, just using the same, like just a change of it. If you guys are familiar with Midjourney or any of these other AI image generating platforms, it's using artificial intelligence to be able to generate this the same way. And right now, so far, because this has not launched fully, you don't have control over the dimensions, because I noticed that when I downloaded the image, it really wasn't 4096 by 2048. So you have to change some of those things. Okay, so let me show you, for example. Okay, so here's a music studio. How cool is that, right? Guys, how amazing is that? This is a sci-fi interior in space, like a music studio. So let's go ahead and download this as well. And let's do an exterior, right? Let's think of, for example, African savanna. Let me just go all the way out. African savanna. And with animals roaming, right? And let's see. It's roaming. Okay, just figure. No, we don't want the full stop. All right, and African savanna. That's fine. All right, and we want this to be like maybe fantasy landscape. Okay, let's go ahead and generate that and wait for it. In the meantime, let's go to our download folder, and let's take this skybox here. So there are two skyboxes. I'm going to copy them, right? And I'm going to put them inside of a folder that is inside of my project. So here's another folder over here. This is my Unreal Engine project. And I've created a 360-degree folder with a skybox, and I'm going to paste it in here. Or you can even just drag and actually, let me skip that one. Let me rename that so I don't overwrite it. All right, let's call this. Oh, wait a minute, before I even do that. Look at that, right? Isn't that amazing? Look at the definition, the quality. Although I don't see any animals roaming, but it has put together a really nice 360-degree image that can be a starting point for you to create your environment, a concept setup. This is really beautiful. Let me save this one as well. And in the, let's say, I would like, what can I say? A club, right? Dancing club, dancing club interior. So if I want to like make a scene with MetaHumans dancing away, dancing club interior with beautiful lighting, glass windows, and chairs. Let's see what it does with that one. Okay, so I've downloaded that one. While that's doing that, let's rename this so we don't overwrite the other one. So we'll call this new. And I'll copy that name. Let's give it another one over here. And we'll call this 2 as well. And we'll make this one 3. Okay. And so if I select this, you're going to see it's 3146 by 1536. So for me to be able to use this inside of the Unreal Engine, it actually needs to be an HDRI image, right? So what I do is I go to Photoshop, and here's one that I'd already converted. Let me show you the process. I go to Photoshop, I bring in that image and drop it in here. Let's try the music, the studio. Let's bring it in here. And I know it needs to be 4090 by 2048. So 30. Let's make this. Let's do 4096 by 2048. Okay, that's our new size. And now I need to do one more thing. Go to image over here, go to mod, and change this to 32-bit. Okay, and then we're gonna save a copy, and we're gonna call this. We're gonna make sure it's an HDRI, and so this is Skybox. Just to, yeah, that's gonna be our Skybox, and 360 degrees, and save. It's gonna be an HDRI image. Okay, so we've done that one. So let's go back into the Unreal Engine, and let me go to my folder where all those images are. So let's go to here. This is where my folder is. So we'll go back to our downloads folder, and I'm just gonna drop this in here, including the one that is an HDRI. So it's in here. So this one is ready because you can see it's there's a difference between it and all the others, more like equi-rectangular. All right, so now let me show you how you bring this in. Let's just turn this off for now. And what you need to do is go to up here on this quickly add to the project panel, go to lights, and then add an HDRI backdrop. Okay, and we're going to make adjustments on this one. So once this is selected, you see where the texture is over here. Let's go back down to where our images are and just drag and drop. Boom. Just like that. So if I'm let me see if I can show my UI elements over here, and let's show the panel, let's show the toolbar, and let's go make sure I'm in perspective mode, and let's go down. So this is where the image is over here. So when you look at it this way, it doesn't look like it's much, right? It looks jumbled. But if I go back to my camera over here, and the HDRI is selected, I can then lower it to about here, and we can move it, make adjustments as needed. Okay, and one other thing that I have to make sure I check is I'll double click on this image and make sure it is HDRI, and I'll also turn on this no maps over there, and that takes a little bit of processing, and it's definitely HDRI over here. Okay, And then under the advanced compression, where is it? Compression settings. I think that's all it for now. So maximum texture size, I want this to be 4096. Right, and go ahead and save. So that's how you bring in the HDRI into your environment. So right now it's kind of again, just have to make sure you make adjustments here, and you can raise it up or lower it depending on where the camera is going to be, right? So that's how you're able to use it inside of the Unreal Engine. It will take a little bit of adjustment in here to make sure that it lines up with your perspective. But as you can see, it's 360 degree. And right now, what I've noticed that if I'm not in the center of the particular image, I need to move over a little bit. So like when I look down, I need to see where the center of this image is, and that will change the perspective of that particular image. So there you go. That's just a quick way of using this platform, right, to generate like 306. That's the club that we glowing tables. That is so cool. So guys, give it a try, and please share your results and let me know what you think of this. Isn't it amazing to be able to like quickly generate this 360 degree, HDRI images for use in, and be able to download it and use it inside of the Unreal Engine. So let's go back to turn this one off and go back to the one that we created. So you can see that I had to make adjustments as well for this one to get the right perspective. And so each image is going to have a different like starting point where that will give you the best look. But as you can see over here, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see adjustments happening. I go back this way, and you can also adjust your camera a little bit. So right now it's at let's see, let's expand this a little bit. So focal length, if we do 35 millimeter, you can see that now you get a nice shallow depth of field, and you have like that nice quality. And when I look around, I'm able to see this other character over here. So that is amazing, totally amazing. I can now, ideas are just running through my mind of how I'm gonna be able to use this tool to be able to quickly put together scenes that can be like first of all quick to render, but also be able to create like dialogue scenes. And even like for VTubing, it's much easier now to create like an environment that you want to use as your like a set, and you can do multiple like levels of this where you have different characters using it. So I hope this was helpful, guys. Again, this is relying on the HDRI backdrop, and you can find that inside of the Unreal Engine 5.1 and also I believe the 5.0 as well. But just go to lights, add the HDRI backdrop, and then once it's selected, they swap out that image, right? But be careful, because the ones that are downloaded are not going to be fully like 4K. So make sure you change the size inside of your image editor to 4096 by 2046, and also make sure you change the mode to 32-bit. And when you're done, you're able to then file, export, save a copy, and under there you have the HDRI option, and that's how it's going to work, and save that, right? And once you have it saved, bring it inside of the Unreal Engine and put it in here, and then swap out that image. So make sure that it looks like that, not like this, because these ones will not work. If you try to use these ones, they're not really set up to do that. It has to be an HDRI image, and that's why it was able to render nicely like that. So thank you so much again for joining me. If you're new to my channel, do please spare a minute to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And thank you so much to all my patrons out there. I truly appreciate your support. Guys, if you are able, consider becoming a patron. And I appreciate your support, guys. As always, dare to dream big. Stay safe. Much love to each and every one of you. Peace out. See you next time in another tutorial. Bye for now.